Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. It is the Pink Link Drink team call, and we have Elizabeth Simmons, Silver Ambassador, presenting tonight about self-development and belief and all that good stuff. So we're excited, and thank you, Elizabeth, for putting this all together for us.
Okay, I have unmuted, and okay, let me start by saying I'm a little nervous. My heart's still beating from doing that live video. I did my first live video on Facebook, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what I'm saying. I kind of rambled for a minute, and now I'm here. So this is not my first Zoom call, but it's my first one for talking and teaching and hoping to inspire people. And I have to say, I think we are on one of the most amazing freaking teams in this business. I'll make sure I use proper words, but I want to inspire people. I want to help people feel like this is doable. You can do whatever you set your mind to. Set your hopes and dreams high enough so that you can meet them. I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory of where I learned all that I have within me. I'm talking with my hands here. I have a lot of research, a lot of books, a lot of videos, podcasts. I've had a whole array of things I've listened to and read and watched over the years. And a lot of those things I'm going to share with you, names and titles and things like that I might throw out there. But I also put together a slideshow today so that I could put some of those tools in a list for you. There's so much more I could put on it, but I got started and it felt good to get to where I got. And I'm going to give you some good resources on some websites, but I hope that as this call progresses and everything I say, there's something in it for everybody. I hope there's something that inspires you or empowers you, or you may find a tool that you use, whether it's a website or an audio taping, that you grab a hold of and you're like, oh my God, this is what I needed. That's my hope. So I started my health journey years ago, and I will share with you that it's been probably since 1998, almost 20 years. I started seeing a physician, a doctor for depression. And after I'd seen him for a few years and realized that there was a lot I needed to work on, at some point down the line, I saw my chart, and I was like, saw this label of major depression. I'm like, oh, is that me? Well, okay. It was sort of a hard hit, a hard hit to my ego, I guess you'd say. And the reality was, okay, I've got some work to do. I've got a lot of work to do, because major depression are they're different levels. So I started digging into some websites, and I think with time, those websites and the books and therapy got me to where I'm at today. And where I'm at today, you wouldn't believe the work that I'd gone through. You wouldn't believe I was the same person I was even 10 years ago. And even just 5 years ago, 4, I separated, and I've been divorced about 4 years now. Holy cow, I'm a totally different woman. I've come out of my shell. I've blossomed like a flower. Darcy's nodding her head because she knows, she's seen it. I have found so many inspiring things. Like, I'm going to give you an example. If any of you have heard of Dr. Christiane Northrup, she's an OBGYN that I listened to her books on tape as I was driving back and forth to work. She is a woman's health and wellness doctor, but she also digs into the more naturopathic stuff. She digs into the spiritual piece of women's health. She doesn't just treat you like a typical OBGYN. I listened to a lot of her two of her books on tape, and found a lot of nuggets that talk about women and empowering women and giving us the strength and the instinct and the gut to say, we may be kind of the minority in society, but we're not. We are amazing, strong, powerful women, and can be, with the self-help and the self-talk that you need to work on. And that's going to lead me to another resource I've got for you, which is Louise Hay. I'm not sure if you've listened to her, but Louise Hay is the founder of Hay House Foundation. It's a publishing company, but she created a website, and she created years ago something called mirror work and positive affirmations. And I'm sharing that with you because mirror work is probably the one thing that I would say has shifted the way I think in my head. And I know that some of us have seen things on the web, and it's even probably been in our loop of our training and throughout Plexus, is that if you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. So if you can think about this for a minute, the mirror work concept that I learned with Louise Hay that shifted my thinking so much was learning how to love yourself and accept yourself for where you're at in your life, looking in a mirror at yourself, looking into your own eyes and saying affirmations like, this is going to sound hokey. I started by saying, I love you, Elizabeth. You say your name. You look at yourself, and you do that until you're comfortable, whether it's 100 times a day, 200 times a day, anytime you hit a mirror. And if you don't have a mirror, it doesn't hurt to say it to you out loud. The more you say it and the more you look at yourself and believe it, the more it gets into your subconscious and the back of your mind. And if you can tap into your subconscious, you can change the way you think. You can change the way you view yourself, and the way that people view you is going to change. And now I'm on a roll. Now you got me going. I started this work, and as I got deeper into it and started saying more things like, I love that mole on your face. I love your lashes or your flaws. If you have a flaw, I have a wrinkle, or I have a spot, or I have a pimple, or I have a rash on your face. Let it go. Look at yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself that you love that and embrace it, because you know what? It's part of who you are. And if you can't love yourself for how you look and how you appear, then that's going to be an energy that you're going to put off around you that others are going to feel. So try to work on some mirror work. I'm going to give you her website when this is all done. Try to work on some mirror work to build your self-belief, your self-talk. Try to get yourself to the point where you get comfortable. And imagine this, that you can actually look in the mirror. When you get really good at it, you can look in the mirror, stand in front of the mirror naked and say, I love you, Elizabeth. And I know that might sound kind of silly, but it really works. It really works. And we talk about that in the business about how you may come across to others when you're talking to them, how the energy might feel, the energy that we put off around us, whether it's in our voice, our body, our eyes, our body language, whatever it is. People can sense that and feel that. So when you're kind of practicing the mirror work, you're getting comfortable with yourself and you're learning to embrace yourself for who you are, you'll be amazed at what shifts. So that's pretty big. I would say that's probably the biggest thing that changed the way I thought about myself, the way I viewed myself. And now when I think about it now, and as I'm talking with you all, and I know you're all watching and listening to me, I'm not as conscious or worried about what you all are thinking overall. I'm actually happy that I'm here to share this, because it changed my life completely. And I have a certain confidence about me now that you wouldn't have known. It wasn't there 4 years ago. Right, Darcy? You know it wasn't there. I am all of a sudden this empowered, strong woman. And you don't have to be strong, but you feel strong. You feel passionate and empowered with life when you learn more about tap into your subconscious, try to take control and grab a hold of how you think. Because as you will find out, and you're going to see more and more, if you can change your thoughts, you can change your life. And that is a quote actually directly from Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer was another one of the huge gurus that I was following. And he has his own website. He also has a link and a tie-in to many other sites. But one of the main sites I watch and listen to is called healyourlife.com. That site itself pulls a lot of inspirational people into it. They have blogs, they have affirmations, they have post videos, and from that it branches out. That is one of the links I'm going to share with you. But Wayne Dyer had an audio I listened to that was Change Your Thoughts and Change Your Life. He talked about the Tao Te Ching, and that was helpful. Because there's a lot of rules in life, and one of them is like, be the change you want to see in the world. And if you're making changes for your health and you want to help change other people's lives because you feel so much better and you want that for them, then you're changing your life so that you can then change the world. And that's going to happen. I'm looking at a book up on my shelf here too. There's a lot of resources from people. Hopefully I'm not too scattered right now, but I'm just talking. Wayne Dyer, he kind of came into my life in many, many ways. Being in balance. I surround myself at home. When you're at home and you're trying to think of something inspirational, something powerful to help build your belief, build your self-love, create a good energy in your home. Find some books that are positive little books that you can lay around. I've got this one here that sits on a basket on the back of my toilet, and I might just read one or two things. Not too often because I'm not like a guy and I don't just sit there. There are books on my shelf. There's some on my coffee table. Inspirational thoughts throughout your home. I'm going to take that to Louise Hay again. And I'm going to show you a screenshot for a minute while I'm talking. There is, getting my PowerPoint up here. All right. And when I do that, I can't see myself, but hang on there. So there's a link. Louise Hay, who founded Heal Your Life and Hay House, there's a Hay House World Summit. She's got a lot of stuff going on. She did a podcast, like a video with a guy called Robert Holden. And from that, I made a slide for you guys to see. So from that, she found something called Life Loves You. She and he did this podcast, like audio. And this ties into what you can do in your home for building self-improvement, whether it's personal or business. Find things that inspire you, words, quotes, anything. Write them on notes. And what you learn to do is put them throughout your home in your life, like in your car, on your phone. I have one by my coffee maker. This is another tool. Like Louise Hay and Robert Holden taught me during this particular podcast and audio how to take these notes, put them throughout your home and your life. And they're great reminders for, one of them, as I look up at my desk, says, life loves you. So life loves you. And when I read that, and if you can imagine, you're going to have these notes around your home that are going to inspire you when you read them. And that's the point. And they're going to make you mindful. They're going to make you think about what you wrote on them. So if I were to give you that as a pointer, which I am, and you're going to put some notes around your home to help in any way, think about something you need to work on. Find words that identify with that thing you need to work on. Write those words on notes, even if it's a quote or a statement, and put them strategically where you're going to see them. I have some at the bathroom sink where I brush my teeth. Put one on the mirror that says, I love you unconditionally as you are now. And write it just like that. Try that for a while. That's how I started with the mirror work. These notes will also shift the way you think and shift your subconscious. I came back to that again, the subconscious. You know, the subconscious mind controls a lot of stuff. So the more you can do notes, listen to podcasts, listen to things while you're driving, exercising like you're doing, Mariah, the more that you can incorporate things in the back of your mind, and Katrina's working, the more you'd be amazed at how much it will stick. Little by little, all of a sudden you'll be like, oh yeah, I heard that somewhere. And you might catch me doing that on this talk. I heard that, I read that somewhere, but I don't have a clue where it came from. It's just there. And that's just my sense of humor. Some of that's going to come out, but all right, screen. I think you can see the screen now. I'm jumping to Dr. Northrup again. These people all pull together beautifully. If you go to that healyourlife.com, when we're all done with this, everybody on that site, I'm referencing here, but separately, because sometimes I'll go to their individual sites and find things. Dr. Northrup totally gave me the strength and the empowerment of what it's like to be a woman, to listen to your body, to listen to your instinct, to go with your gut, to assess relationships and life and find out, what are you passionate about? What is it you want in life? And she was probably the biggest person that influenced me when I was going through the struggles of the marriage and being a mom and a divorce and kids and trying to figure out what's right and what's healthy and what's not. I put one of her quotes in here from her website too. So you can't see my lovely face, but I'm going to just click on a couple of slides again. These ones you're going to see. The Heal Your Life, Hay House Summit, Sounds True, the tapping solution. I'm going to stop the share on the screen. Okay, you get to see me again. Oh, Mariah, you look like you're stepping or something. I love it. Okay, let me pull some things around. So what I've talked about so far is trying to empower yourself, trying to do things in your home to inspire you, and the self-growth. So some of it you guys are going to connect with and some of it you aren't. I found that I had to find certain things that work for me and certain things that don't. I went through I'm thinking back to my story because not many of you know it, but I just went through a pretty deep and intense emotional divorce, and coming through that was pretty amazing. But I don't know how well I would have done and be the person I was today had I not had all these resources. I'm going to maybe bring up a couple other books that I've read and tell you why I think they might be helpful for you, what they've done for me, and see if that helps a little bit there. I've got those in front of me, but before I show you them and talk about them, I want you to know that the mirror work and the affirmations that I mentioned, again, they are huge. You've got to do it. You've got to try it. You've got to work on it. You're going to be surprised at how much it will change you as a person. The affirmations that Louise Hay has, you can find some of her information on the Heal Your Life website or on her website, louisehay.com. But the affirmations are how we talk to ourselves. I know I got somebody peeking in. I know there's one of those books, Darcy, you guys, we had the book club for what to say when you talk to yourself. That's huge. And it touches on all of that. Another one of the books I've read with an author that left quite an impression with me was Eckhart Tolle. This book itself took me a while to get through it, but he taught me how to be mindful, how to look at things simply for what they were and what they are through the eyes of a child, even, like simply, like, okay, I'm going to give you an example. So I'm in the yard looking at a tree. That's a tree. It's simple. But when you're a child, you don't know it's a tree. You look at it for the beauty of it. So when you're looking at things in life, and whether it's family or business related, look at things through the simple eyes of a child or the simple glass. And I want to tie that in like to business. Like when you're looking at something and you want to share with somebody, look at it simply. Look at it as you just want to share something with somebody that you know can help change their lives. So just do that simply and let them know that you care. But I'm talking on the video. Okay. When I'm done, I will look with you. Sorry about that. Miss Jade, my 9-year-old, is looking for something. Okay, I'm getting a little nervous here because I feel like I want to make sure I'm summarizing stuff good. So Eckhart Tolle taught me how to be mindful. That's another piece of doing some self-work. So when it comes to business, or when it comes to life and relationships, personal or in this business for Plexus, try to keep it personal. Try to be mindful of how you're coming across or how people maybe are feeling when they're talking with you. Just be genuine, be authentic, be yourself. And when you're practicing mindfulness and not worrying about it, but just doing it, you're going to find that conversations might flow a little bit better and you come up with the right things you want to share. Communication is a good tool. I'm kind of nervous still, but I've got a couple other books here in front of me I want to share with you. So I was talking about, I kind of go back to the mirror work again. It's huge. There's a book on my shelf called You Can Heal Your Life. That talks about how, that's another passionate topic. Let me tell you a little bit about this. So we're in the business for helping people become healthy with supplements. On top of that, the supplements help us feel better, give us more energy, and it kind of snowballs into better health with exercising more. And then we make better choices for food and diet and drinks. Okay, so Louise Hay wrote a book. There's another woman, Mona Lisa Schultz, and Christiane Northrup. They all tied into how we heal our bodies with our thoughts. And that is hard to wrap your head around, but she wrote a book, How You Can Heal Your Life. And it all ties together with when you take supplements and your body feels better, you also have other things that you're releasing and letting go. You may have releasing and detoxing from cells of your body that come from areas where there may be some trapped energy. And energy can get trapped in your cells. You can have memories in your cells, which is kind of that scientific mind of mine, but you can actually have memories from years past that are trapped within you. And as you're detoxing, you may go through things that come out of the blue that are totally unexpected, and embrace it, look in the mirror and say, okay, I love this. I may not like it, but let's go with it. So as we're helping people with these supplements and they're healing their bodies, be mindful that they're going to be going through some symptoms that might be different. It might be pulling stuff out like one example I heard today was as the cells detox, you can have a different odor to your breath. You can have a different odor to your body. You can be getting rid of things that have been stored in your cells, in your memory, that you're not even aware of, that you're releasing and getting rid of. So if you ever have like yourself it's happening to, or customers or ambassadors that sign up and they're going through it on their own, remember their bodies are going through a lot. There's going to be a lot of things stirred up because the wisdom of our cells and the memories that are in our cells is pretty amazing as well. We're pretty fascinating beings. We're pretty complicated. And I think that what we have here for products is pretty amazing because we're helping to people get back to their natural rhythms that their bodies need. And they're helping to like heal their bodies. But if you end up, I don't know, getting in situations where people are detoxing and getting rid of things that you're not ready for, then it's kind of nice because we have such a good team and resources here we can pull on. those of you that are looking for something to work on with self-care, specifically like a book guided, I took a nursing class about a year and a half ago, and I was very lucky to have a teacher assign us to this book by Cheryl Richardson. It's actually, it's called The Art of Extreme Self-Care. So this book, we had to read a chapter and work on it. You can do it for the year, or you can work on a couple chapters a month. But self-improvement stuff within here, you can transform your life one month at a time, is another tool that you can go to. Actually, as I'm reading a couple of the contents, I'll give you a pointer, is perfect for the business. So there's Mirror on the Wall, and that is about talking to yourself. There's one that says, you're so sensitive. And if any of you are sensitive, and I've been sensitive before, and somebody like turns you down or shoots you down and you get your feelings hurt, kind of covers that too. There's the one, chapter 3 I liked. I wrote about this one. Let me disappoint you. And this talks about if you have people in your life that kind of suck the life out of you and you don't know how to say no, you need to look at this chapter 3 in this book. And I'm not promoting the book because I'm, making anything off it. This is an amazing book too for helping yourself. But you learn how to say no and that it's okay, because there are going to be people in your life that they're takers, they're leechers. They don't realize it, but that's what they are, and you're a giver. So I share this because this book kind of takes you through chapter, and you can do start with a random one if you want, and then go to a different one. But when I had the teacher for our class, she's got her PhD in nursing, and she's more, she gets more into all the alternative therapies too. I was so impressed when she gave us this book. So I basically have this self-help book that was assigned to us, and I got to do work on myself, and I got paid to do it, which was pretty amazing. I know, it was awesome. But Cheryl Richardson is a great person to listen to. I listened to a podcast from her. If you have an iPhone, you can get podcasts through that. It's a link that's automatically on your phone. Hay House has, if you search under like YouTube or under your app for your phone, I know a lot of people have Samsung. There are apps that you can go to where you can find free affirmations. Search for things like that. Search for things like meditations, but find the ones that work for you. I've listened to some meditations at bedtime. I've listened to some meditations in the morning. The ones in the morning are more about thankfulness, being thankful for the bed I slept in, and getting up in the morning and starting out in a very positive, uplifting kind of way. I've listened to the bedtime ones to help de-stress and lower anxiety or thoughts or worries. But you can listen to these things and fall asleep with them, and they're still going to get into your subconscious mind, which brings me to another app. There's a couple of apps on phones you can use where you record in your own voice. And some people that may take some time to get used to. I know it did for me, but you need to record in your own voice some affirmations that you need to hear, that you would need to say to yourself, like the fact that I love you unconditionally, like things that you want to hear people say to you, but they don't. Say it to yourself and record it. And then this app, there's a couple apps you're going to find. Look for a loop recording. You put it on and you play it when you're going to sleep, and you can even get a speakerphone to put under your pillow or listen to it in your room, and it will loop through your recording of what you've recorded. Whether it's self-love, self-improvement, whether it's business related, and you want to just say things like, I'm going to give you an example. I bring, what's the word? I bring financial security to myself. I have an abundance of financial security. I have an abundance of this or that. Put your word in that you need, and record it and loop it while you're sleeping. Because that's another tool where if you can tap into your subconscious mind through listening while you're sleeping, notes around your home, things that you say to yourself in the mirror, you're eventually going to shift some of the memories in your mind that might have been negative, some of the old habits, some of the things that you thought about yourself that weren't true, all together. Those are all tools you can use. You can shift a lot of that stuff around. I have no idea how long I've been talking, but I told my coach, I have a personal coach, I like listening to myself talk, so you guys are in trouble. Anyway, I have another book I'm going to share with you, and this is a great one, business related. So I'm looking down at these. I've read so many books, it's amazing, and I can't wait to read more, but there's one on communication, and that is called Nonviolent Communication, and it actually is pretty good about understanding that we are all human beings. We are all here on this earth with the same need. We all have the same desire and the same need. And when it really comes down to is we all want to be loved, period. Whether you're a criminal or an old person or a baby or somewhere in between, we all want to be loved. And in order to be loved, we also need to feel like we're being understood. So that's another book. Marshall Rosenberg wrote one about how to communicate, like nonviolent communication. And for those of you who have kids, he wrote one called Raising Kids Compassionately. And that was one that I wanted to share because I know that a lot of you have children and are working this business and have jobs and are trying to muddle through life. But with these tools I'm giving you, I'm hoping that you can find something that strikes you, something that works, something that gives you more passion for life. And you can look in the mirror every day and really begin to believe that you're an amazing person, you are beautiful, you're loved, and you're like a great inspiration to people that come in contact with you every day. I like that. The book that I have a personal coach. I feel pretty lucky. He is a husband of one of my coworkers at the hospital where I work, and he sent me a book as part of my training. He sent it out of just wanting to give and share with me, and the book reminded him of me wanting to be a giver. I got into this business to feel better. Darcy shared with me, and I wanted to feel better, and I just wanted that. And when I started to feel better, I knew that there were people that I cared about that I wanted to share with as well, and many of you have had that same scenario. So when I started my coaching calls, which have helped me personally and in the business, he got a sense that I was a giver. And he sent me this book. It's called The Go-Giver. It's a little story about a powerful business idea. And there are 4 different lessons from the book. And I think maybe this will be something for a book club. I'm not sure, Darcy, but this was pretty darn amazing. And it shifted the way that I visualize and see myself when I'm sharing the opportunity and I'm sharing the supplements or the business. It shifted it quite a bit from Abby, I'm looking at your comment. Whoops, hang on. Are you girls on the internet? Are you on the internet? Can you pause it for a minute? I lost my connection. I need it. Oh no. Jay, did you turn it off? Oh. Oh my goodness, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know if it was Jade logged onto the internet and all of a sudden I'm like, I was froze and stuck for a minute. Sorry. So the go-getter, go-giver. I'm going to go get her. She's, it may be a good book for a book club because there's 4 chapters, there's 4 laws in the book. And I was really inspired with how the book was written and how the 2 men that wrote this book shared the business perspective of it, and how, I can't even wrap it up, how being authentic, be yourself, share with others from your heart, and go into it sometimes not expecting anything back, just share authentically as for who you are. Let me get rid of that screen. I don't want to kind of look at books and share too much of that, but it was inspiring. It was inspiring for me. I guess I'll give you 2 other ideas and maybe wrap up the call because I'm not feeling like there's a lot of other particular stuff I want to share. There's a lot of things I could dig into deeper, but I want to kind of give you the overall summary and then give you pointers and resources in the end. The other thing I have around my home is I'll get some of the inspirational calendars and have those to look at on a regular basis. So pretty much I'm bombarding myself with positive, motivational, inspirational stuff. And it's everywhere. So it actually kind of helps me be happy with life every day. And that's something that I hope that you guys can find what works for you, whether it's audio or visual, whatever it might be. I'm going to share and read off from one of my inspirational calendars right here. There's a lot of good quotes out there, but this is one I ordered. So this one for today was from a calendar I got. This woman, Esther and Jerry Hicks, they're pretty popular people out there in the self-improvement world. Today said that regarding your creation of your own life experience, in asterisk, it says there really is only one important question for you to ask. How can I bring myself into vibrational alignment with the desires that my experience has produced? And then she goes on to say the simple answer is pay attention to the way you feel and deliberately choose your thoughts about everything that feel good to you when you think them. You know, that's a good way to kind of wrap up this call because it kind of touches on changing your thoughts and changing your life. Pay attention and be mindful about your thoughts on a day-to-day basis, a moment to moment. Be present in the moment right now. Don't worry about tomorrow. Don't fret over yesterday. Try to be present every day and be mindful of how you're feeling and thinking, and go with your instinct, go with your gut and what feels right, and listen to your instinct, listen to your heart, or listen to that little nagging feeling in the back of your mind, because 9 times out of 10 it's right. And whether it's something involving life or business or the big picture or situations that are deep or light, just be mindful and be present and listen to yourself. Trust your instinct. I hope that some of you all will share as our page progresses or throughout our group what you maybe are doing in the way of ideas that I've given you to inspire yourself. That maybe some of you can share, whether it's a post written or a little video to say, this is what I'm doing today, and maybe a follow-up after a while, because I know what I'm sharing with you now is hopefully going to shift something for all of you, and maybe what you share later will help somebody else down the way. And I'm available either through Facebook or through our group. I'm available to give you resources that I may have forgotten. On my slideshow presentation, I shared a link to my blog that I have, which is where I'll share a lot of inspirational things too that come to me. and my YouTube link. So I think that is a good summary of everything that I have in my head so far, without boring you guys too much. And I'm going to let Darcy kind of wrap it up. And thank you guys all that made it on live, and everybody that gets to watch this later. I hope you gather something from it as well.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. It was great. Great. Thank you so much for all that information and resources. And I'm so excited. Yeah. So if you post the pages that you showed us down below, your slideshow, then we can, I didn't take notes during this, so I want to go back through and write down those titles and get some books. And it was awesome. I don't know if anybody has any questions for you at all. It was.
I was going to say, I don't know that will be too many questions, because
yeah,
I just gave a lot of resources.
Yeah,
and a lot
I
of
think
info.
we're all just absorbing all the info.
I bet everybody's going to be excited to see what I share.
Yeah.
Hey, I had an idea. I'm going to throw it out there now and here. Is that another inspirational and like just something really good to try and pull people together. Some of you may not be close enough, but I wanted to put some, like, build on the team dinner. I just was thinking of that, like trying to pull us together sometime at my place too.
Mm-hmm. That would be awesome.
I want to help inspire the team some more.
I'm excited for the mirror talk. I've written affirmations, but talking in the mirror it's big work. Like, it's big. So
you don't know what it's like when you look into your own eyes and you speak to yourself.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're speaking to that inner child.
Yeah, it is. It's big stuff.
You move mountains, like your brainwaves change.
Well, thank you everyone for attending. I know it's late. Have good evenings, and pick Elizabeth's brain at any point. She's always open and available. Good night, everyone. Thank you.